Okay, so what I'm going to do right now is go through a calculator app. Because I know what we needed to do. We needed to go through the assignments for the course. So
we saw the calculator last week.
We saw the calculator?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Let's go over the assignments for the course. Let's do that, actually. That's productive. The first assignment, and because we have like 3 weeks left of the class, I think, or 2 or 3 weeks, I believe. We're very close to the end, and all these assignments are going to be due. So let me talk about the expectations and the requirements, because we really only have like maybe half hour or so left here. Simple calculator program. What do you have to do for this? Well, we went through the calculator program last week. Did I give you the source for it too? I'll make sure I put the source up. If not, if someone can remind me, I'll put the source up so you can have that as a starting point. It's not a full calculator. In fact, the example that I'm going to give you, just to refresh your memory, in fact, I'm going to see if it works on my device, actually. Actually, it'll work on your device. In fact, you can't see it if I run it on my device, so I'll run it in the emulator. The interface is real primitive. It looks like this. Actually, no, this is not an iPhone app. This is a this is not an iPhone app. This is a Coca MacBook app. So you could probably turn this into an iPhone app, no problem though. It's the same code. It's all written in Objective-C, which is good. I have no problem giving you this app now because this app is not an iPhone app or an iPad app. And for the purpose of the assignments, you can do iPhone or iPad. It doesn't really matter which one. If you click the buttons, it's primitive kind of thing. It just puts the number in here, and then you see the answer right here. If you go add, it puts a plus over here, a minus over here. It doesn't really do anything. The sum button, however, puts the sum up here. So it's going to do some basic math for you. And I went over this. I don't remember, but I went over this last time. So I'll make that code available for you. And to go back to the first assignment, because that's why I wanted to bring it up, you're creating a simple calculator of your own design. So it doesn't have to be like the Mac calculator. It doesn't have to have a memory function and all of the other stuff either. In fact, mine was a non-standard calculator. Mine was actually kind of hokey. So designing the overall look and feel is completely up to you. You can create a general functioning calculator or a tip calculator, or a mortgage loan or car loan. Okay, a tip calculator application might actually be kind of cool, because then you can probably use it, especially now that you can put it on your device and go. And you don't actually, another note, you don't actually have to have your device connected at all. Once you have loaded the app onto the device through that provisioning process, whatever, actually now none of that ever has to be done again. But you just load it and you run it and it stays there until you get rid of it. If you get rid of it, you have to hook it back up to Xcode and run it again. But always save your projects anyway, because you're probably going to make some improvements. So the calculator has to be fully functional, which means I want you to do the math behind the numbers. So you have to have some integers, and you should just use integers if you want. It doesn't actually have to work with any complex data types. When the user clicks on the features should produce the result that is appropriate for the functionality that you have designed. Design your own user interface and your own functionality. What are you turning in? You're turning in the Xcode project. And you're turning it into the EMS. So if this was my calculator here, I'm going to compress it to a zip file, and I'm going to upload that file. I want everything. Don't send me a Word file with the code cut and pasted in there. I want the Xcode file, because then I know you actually created it. And I can also look at the Xcode file to see if it was actually you who actually created it. And the key is not actually in the source code, and nothing you can see. I have a utility that actually gives me all of the information about when the project was created. It's kind of like the properties of a Word file. It's sort of interesting. So don't cheat. If you cheat, you're not going to get any points for it. In fact, you'll get 0 points for it. And then in the coming terms, you're actually going to get turned in for academic dishonesty as well. Not worth your advantage to cheat anymore. So, questions about the calculator program. Should be a fun program. Actually, all of the programs for this course are on the easy side, but I don't believe I've ever gone through them. So this is it tonight. Next one is a Tic Tac Toe game. Again, any design that you want. Obviously, Tic Tac Toe plays a certain pattern to it. If you're not familiar with the Tic Tac Toe game, you can go online, look it up. This one's actually kind of cool. In fact, I had a lot of students use, instead of the zeros and the X's, you can use pictures, you know, put bunny rabbits in there or something, or horses, or, you know, make a little kid. In fact, that's a good idea. I'm trying to build some apps for the digital arts program for this coming up Sunday. So actually, if anyone's curious or anyone wants to attend that, I believe it's open to the public. I'm not sure. I know they're charging $99 a student for it, for the workshop, but yeah, one day too. I know you can go to my other ones just for free. I'll be doing the same thing. I'm just kidding. Anyway, long story short, this might make a nice kids game. So determine the required component or the operation of a two-player game. Two-player mode means well, you can play it yourself. It just goes every other turn. You need two people to play it, or you're one player against a computer. Using a window, create a suitable grid, so a 3x3 buttons. Window meaning a phone for either an iPhone or an iPad or whatever you'd like. In fact, any of them can be done in universal if you want. So in which the user can create which letter to use, an X or an O. Okay, so you don't have to follow this exactly the same way it's written. You can hard set, you know, player 1 is an X and player 2 is an O or something. Display should show the game statistics. What are the game statistics? Well, it should show how many moves has been made. That's easy, it's a counter. So again, you're keeping count of clicks, which is kind of easy actually, because if you haven't noticed the on-touch event, you know, you get just plus, 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 plus every time someone clicks the button, you know. And if the button is only if one of the buttons is one of the squares, so you have to actually kind of be a little bit creative in terms of how you're designing the interface. You could put images in there, you could put buttons in there, clickable buttons, clickable images actually that are in the form of buttons. So use your imagination. Create a function which to check whether or not there's a winner. Eventually there's going to be some sort of winner, so you're going to have a loop. This assignment is all about flow control, actually. First assignment was about, can I get some GUI out there and can I get the events to work? Second assignment is more along the lines of, oh, can I have a loop in here? Can I check a condition? So the flow of the application as it's working, although it's event driven, there's still a flow to it. You know, you have the onload method, you have the on-unload method, you have all of the functionality that you can work with. You may do anything you want, implement it any way you want. Create the functions so that you can check for a winner, display the winner when there is one, and then allow users to play again to retain data from the wins and losses and draws. So you're going to keep track of all this data. All this means is in the object itself, you're going to use a property for some value from some variable, and you're going to synthesize it, and you're going to have it global. If you do that, it's going to be global, and you can just use it. And then you can see basically how those variables withstand through. Obviously, when the game ends, you don't have to save the information. That would require you to actually upload it to a website or to save it in a file or something, which you're not going to want to do. So, turn it in the same way as you turned in the first one. You just zip it up, send it to me. Project number 3. A little bit more challenging. Oops, that was too many. It was like 1600%. Project number 3 is the clock application. There are some built-in clock functionality. So first, create a program that includes a UI label showing a functional clock. So that'll be interesting. This one is going to be, this one and the next, well, this one probably is the most challenging one of all. Then you're going to create a stopwatch program. If you go online, or actually if you have the Deedle and Deedle book, he's got a clock in there. Or if you go online, you're going to see many different clocks. Make sure you use it as an example and don't turn in the program that you see, but use it as a design example. There are components for clocks. In fact, what would happen if I just typed in, let's see what would happen. I don't think it's going to come up actually. I think I have to load something in, but let's see. Let's just do this real quick. Oh, too fast. Way too fast for this. Okay. Custom objects. I'm going to go to the library here, objects. Ooh, no clock object. Okay. I know that the Coca controls have it in a non-iPhone. So you'll have to do your own kind of timer thing, which might be a little interesting. There's a couple of different ways of doing it, actually. I'm not going to give them away, but because all the other assignments are not very challenging. But there isn't, unless you install a third-party library for it. This was I was actually kind of checking because I actually had a clock object. It's a class file that gets loaded in through the framework, but or gets added along with the other framework. But long story short, you're going to create a stopwatch program, and we have 3 buttons: a start, a reset, and a clock. 3 buttons: start, stop, and reset, and a clock shows you the time. You can use an analog, you can use a digital. You can do it any way you want. The clock should have hours, minutes, and seconds. In fact, if you want to take it, just put 3 numbers up there and put a timer on it. Figure out how to do a timer, which isn't too bad, actually. It's pretty easy. There's a component for it. There's also another component. There's a date component that does time as well. So you use whatever you have. So you'll have to explore to see what's available to you. And so the start button, so the view should begin with the start button highlighted and enable the other buttons, neither highlight or enabled, so you have only the start button that works initially, and then the other buttons are enabled once you hit the start button. So you'll have to set the enable property, actually. So pressing the start should start the clock, disable should unhighlight the start button, enable the stop button, and then pressing stop should stop the clock, and basically implement a stopwatch, in any form you want. Any form actually can work any way you want. It doesn't actually have to abide by these standards strictly. Questions about the clock? No. All right. Number 4 is the extension on the clock. Number 5 is the easiest of all, actually, because we did that one in class already. So it's really only the clock and the clock extension. There's only 2 assignments that are challenging, actually, in my opinion. Extending the simple clock functionality. So once you have the clock already made, then that's half the battle right there. So this one is using the clock program you created in assignment number 3. Create a timer program. So it should have 1 start and stop button, 1 picker. You'll discover there is a built-in picker object, and 1 clock. I think there is a clock object actually as well. I just didn't find it quickly. So the clock should have days, hours, and minutes, and seconds, and a countdown. So you're psyching on those New Year's Eve countdown clocks. You can do it that way if you want, or any countdown. Countdown until the end of your degree or something. Who knows? So the view should begin with a start button and a picker. Use the picker to select the amount of time, and the picker is an object that you're going to add to the GUI. You don't have to create this object. You drag it from the library and you put it on the view. So the labels should change to stop when the clock starts, and use the stop button to start the clock and reset it to 0. Make the timer do something of your choice, whatever you want. Wake you up, ring a bell, play a song or something. And you can use it. The example, assignment number 3 clock as a start, and add functionality to it, make a new clock program out of it. So you can kind of reuse anything you want out of your 3rd program when you're creating your 4th program. Use anything. So, in fact, turn in both programs though, otherwise I'm not going to see it. So upload a 3 and a 4. Don't combine them into one. I've actually had students that have done that with other types of assignments. But these are new assignments, so I'm going to do that with these. Well, maybe they won't. Last but not least, we did this already. Multiple views. Multiple views. Create a program that involves multiple views. The main window should contain a grid of subviews, which can animate and flip around to reveal a front and back view. You know the game of solitaire where you have cards? You can do like a solitaire game, or maybe a 5-card solitaire game or something. Not something too elaborate. The front and back views should be contained in a container view that sits above the root view. Well, root view controller Write that word down. Tab view controller. Write that one down. What do those do? They flip. The views flip. There's a flip motion. There's an animation called a flip, actually. Not to give the whole thing away, but all this stuff's given for you automatically. You just have to find the features and implement them. But half of it's given to you already from the day 1 or 2 of the course. It's a multiple view. The tab view, it was a multiple view. Tab view controller. You don't have to do a tab view controller, however. You can actually not do a controller at all. Well, you probably want to put a root controller in there. You don't have to use that. You don't have to use that format though. You can have them all in a line, like a card deck, if you want to, or something, and flip the cards when you click on them or something. That might be fun. So it's your opportunity to design and implement an iPhone program that you want, as long as it uses multi-views and shows different views when the program runs. You're in good shape. Switch between the views. So you have to have the navigation. So you need some sort of a navigation controller, whether it's a tab view or grid view, however you want to design it. Your choice, your theme. You don't have to do cards. You can do anything you want. So, questions on the multi-view? No? Good. Good deal. Let me just check the syllabus real quick, because I can't remember if we have a CSLO essay in here, and we should make sure that that's accomplished. Actually, let's just go in here. I think we're going to get out early today because I expected the iPhone installation to run a lot longer than it actually did. I mean, the device installation. Yeah, I'm looking for that one, and as well as the syllabus. I just want to check the, here's the CSLO. Okay, so we do have the CSLO posted, and it is in the forum. And it should have just downloaded to my desktop, which it did. I just want to check the grading here real quick. Okay, here we go. So the CSLO is 25%, which is actually significant because it's the same weight as the final exam. The final exam is going to be in class on Monday, August 27th, and the programming assignments are worth 50%. So that's a significant portion as well. And if you are in the iPhone class, the only thing that you need to worry about on the CSLO is make sure you make a different, not the iPhone, the Objective-C course, make sure you pick 2 different topics. Don't give me the same essay for both classes. Believe it or not, I can imagine this happening. So, if you're describing, as an example, you know, this one, like the 3rd one or 4th one down here, explain how to program an Objective-C and relate it to application development for the iPhone. And don't pick this one and go in how to program an Objective-C and relate it to how to program for the Mac computer. Well, as long as you make it significantly different, that's fine. If you're picking 2 different topics and you're writing 2 separate essays, that's perfect. If you're recycling the same essay and you're turning it in twice, that's not acceptable. And you're only going to get credit for it once. So you may pick any of these topics, although on the bottom you can select a topic of your choice. If you're selecting a topic of your choice, make sure it's related to iPhone or iPad or iTouch application development. And don't do it on Java EE. That's not going to work. So, and you can read through the various topics. I believe I've gone over this actually at one point already. How to acquire resources for security. How to publish. Oh, here's a good one. How to publish an application into iTunes. You actually have half of it done for you already. Because if we were going to take this and put it into iTunes, you actually have to have a different account. You have to have a full account. And you have different menu options in Developer Center that says Publish. Just like Google Play, actually. Not too bad. Yep. The account that you have right now is a student account that will allow you to run it on your device, but it won't let you put it into the Apple Store. So instead you have to pay $99 a year, get your full account, and then you can put it into the Apple Store. And then you can manage the account yourself, all your devices and stuff. Which isn't too bad. So, but yeah, no, actually I could probably demo if you're interested. I have to get something put together that I'd put in, that I would submit. Maybe my adventure game program. I'm building it. Actually, here, I'll just show you guys because I'm killing time. I'm going to make this available when it's ready. It's not quite done yet. I'm only on day 1, so here, I'm so proud of my adventure. It's not really. It's just a. Let's see. All right. This is like multiple views gone wild. If you want to do something like this for your, well, don't do this one, but if you're going to do something like this for your multiple views, this is possible as well. There isn't a controller though. This is a controllerless multiple view program that is attaching to game, adventure game. Okay. My emulator is thinking. Maybe I have too much loaded right now. My emulator appears to be hosed. I don't see an emulator back there. I'm going to stop it right now. Let's see. Finished. It didn't load. Let's see, try it again. Build successful. Here we go. Much better. See, this is a view. Splash screen. And then you press here, start the game. And you're going to put your name in here. Read the instructions. Hey, your plane has crashed on a deserted island. Help is coming in 3 days. Try and survive. I should put something in here so on the done. Yeah, it doesn't do it. Get rid of the keyboard. We know how to do that. So, play. Day number 1 with blurred vision. See, I already know how to cheat the game because I wrote the game, so, well, I know how to. I know I'm going to walk now. I'm not going to sleep. So I'll just pick the walking. I probably could have put a skinnier person in there, but I kind of liked it. Walk now. That looks like someone who would be stranded. So with blurred vision, you look around, gathering your surroundings. You're lost. The beach is rough. The salty water is irritating your skin. You recall a plane crash. Oh yeah. You walk into the jungle. You can walk into the jungle right now, or you can hang back, sleep, regain your strength before walking into the jungle. What do you want to do? Well, we want to walk into the jungle because we know bad things are going to happen if we don't walk into the jungle. In the jungle! Inside the jungle, you find a bush with little black fruit. Okay, they're blueberries. All right. And maybe I should change that to blueberries. And its base are white speckled mushrooms. No, okay, that's a mushroom. Okay, so the mushroom's bad, the blueberries are good. So I'm going to select the berries. Because the berries are going to get, ooh, good berries. The other one's going to say, bad mushrooms. It gave me an upset stomach. So the sweetness of the berries is quite savory, considering all the salt water you consumed. And that bug's back. So I probably should put continue or something on there. So day 1 is now over with. You fall asleep behind a tree. I don't know if I like the mouse on the banana, but day 1 was successfully completed. And then I reused the name from the beginning. Actually, I reused the name on the first one too. Barbie managed to finish the day with a total health of 110. So that's the rest of my functionality. Should go on to day 2 and day 3, maybe just 3 days. It's just actually keeping a total. It's keeping a counter on the health. But to look at the view, actually, this is, we're just talking about views. This merits a little bit of attention here. Let's see. This is what I call views on steroids, which is, without a controller. Actually, it's just one controller. So if I open up the views here, I can see I have 7 subviews in a main, nested in a main view, and I only have 1 view controller. But if you look at that view controller, it is just full of. This one over here. It's just full of connections for all of these views. But if I had 7 different sets of controllers, when I don't really need it, I'm going to control it from 1. So model view controller says you're supposed to have a class file, a controller file for each one of the views that's supposed to control it. And I broke the rules because otherwise this would just be way too complicated. I'd have like 20. These are all image files in here. I probably could put these image files in a subfolder or something, but. All of these, and then the image files themselves are just basically, it's just image and text. So What I'm going to do actually for you guys on Wednesday is I'm putting together a bunch of apps for the digital arts. This is going to be one of them as soon as I finish it, but like demo apps for what the digital arts people can do. They're not programmers. They need pictures and video and photos and PDF files and stuff. So I'm going to have those ready and I'm going to demo them to you guys on Wednesday. See what you think. So you'll see. You're going to see the apps whether you're in the workshop or not. Because kill two birds with one stone. If I'm giving it to those guys, I might as well give it to you guys too.
App related to audio?
Yep. I actually have one that is running. It needs to be cleaned up. That you can install it. Now you guys have the devices at work. You can record the video on your device. I might actually have it here. Let's see if I have it. It doesn't work on the emulator. It has to work on your device. But let me see if I can find it here. I believe it is going to be DA apps. No, not on here. Is it spinning yarn? No, not that one. No. Oh, wait a minute. I know where it is. And this is terrible. My computer's just play, record video. It needs to get cleaned up a little bit. It succeeded. Okay, let's just run it this way. Oh, Xcode can't run the selected device. Yes, I know. I don't have the iOS device connected. That's one of the things you're going to get, actually, because my default went to my device. So now I have to manually switch it to the emulator when I want to use the emulator. So let's see. This one will load up, but it's not going to. Oops. Yeah, here we go. Play video, play audio. I have to put the audio. Record, save video. So you can use your phone, record some video, and then merge it with other video files and play it. Manage your video, essentially. I need to put one here that says like email video or something. Or, you know. I don't know. But it's just going to use the built-in. There's nothing in the library, so it's going to crash, actually. It can't get at the resources that don't exist on the emulator. So. It works perfectly fine, though, on my phone. It works pretty good. Actually, on my iPad, it works pretty good. So, all right, so Wednesday we'll play around with some stuff, and I'll make sure I upload those so that you can download them and run them on your device as well, because it's really hard to test some things like audio, video, internet access. You can test real easily, but some of the multimedia stuff, it's hard to do it on the emulator, so the device makes a lot more sense. So. Okay, we'll get out early today. We're all done. I'll keep you longer Wednesday.